Hey, Dream Life creators! Welcome to another Monday Masterclass. And today we are talking about creating content online. This is one of the most common questions that I get when I tell people to start their own group or to create a valuable content for their fan pages or for their Facebook profiles. And they're like, what do I say? What do I post? What do I? And you know how I really hate all those copy paste statuses. So today's webinar will we will talk about what to create, how to create it, and what to do if you're just starting out and you don't know what to write and how to write it, and you still want to present yourself as an expert in your niche and as someone that people can come for advice. So today we are talking about that. And as usual, if you have any questions, please send them over. Say hello if you're watching me, uh, and I hope that you will get value out of the presentation, and that you will benefit from it as usual. And as always, my master classes are approximately 1 hour, but they are full content. I usually don't do any selling on the webinar, so you should really get your pens and paper ready to write down. And if you haven't done yet, if you are in my group, and if you're watching this, you obviously are. So in the file section, you can find the handouts for this presentation, the PDF of the slides, so you can follow along and get more of this webinar as we move forward. So let me just switch to the presentation. All right, going full screen. And of course, the most obvious question before we move on is, why do you need to create your own content? And I see a lot of, especially network marketers, when they start online and they got invited to see the presentation, one of the features that most people uh, emphasize is that you get your own website, and you have all the marketing materials ready, and you have everything that you need to start. But unfortunately, that is not true. It is true that you have your shopping site ready, but you don't have ready your own content. And if you remember from the previous classes, or if you're here with us for the first time, I'm very big on branding yourself and not your company or for someone that you work with, because everything is about you. People join you, people buy from you, people look after you, and you can have the same product or the same services as everybody else. What will differentiate you is your personality, how you present, what's your energy, how you give out your content, and how you help others. So that's why you want to create your own content to stand out. And when you create your own content, you build credibility. That means that people see you as someone who knows stuff and who teaches stuff, and they don't see you as someone who's just copy pasting other people's posts or blogs or whatever, but you are creating your own. It means that you must know something, because if you write about it, then sure, you are an expert. And of course, you with that you show your expertise. You can talk about your topics. You can talk about the what you sell and what you give and what people benefit from working with you, and package it so people will see that you are the right person for them. And obviously, when you have different content and different images than everybody else, even if you are in the same company, then of course you stand out, and you're not just one of the many, but you are one that is something special that people will notice. Because when you go online, and when when I scroll through my feed on Facebook, I do it usually for a few minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the morning, and then in the afternoon. And then when I see the same post all over again, I just don't read it anymore. I don't look who posted it. I don't read it. I just skim. When you read the first few words, then you just skim past and scroll through. So that's the same with the images and with every other content. If you don't stop people when and I don't mean posting on your Facebook. Stop scrolling. You have to read this. You have to stand up with quality content and with the with something that people will see as benefit to them, not benefit for you. And when you create your own content, you are also growing your brand. People will recognize your name. People will recognize maybe your company, if it's not the same as and your company, I mean more like your personal company or the website. Like I'm always saying, I'm Alenka from Dream Life Creation. So everything that I do has this or the logo like this one on the slides, or uh, on the I put the link everywhere. I brand everything, and when someone's posting, then or reposting or sharing or anything, then my link is there, and all the others saw that this is my creation and that I made the image or the content or whatever. Uh, and obviously, when when you put out your own content, and you're helping people and you're showing and what you're doing, then you become the go-to person, and people will start associating you with certain kind of services or with certain kind of value. If you think of I'm in this mastermind group, and we have someone is an expert on network marketing. Another one is more expert for the Twitter. Another one is for Instagram. And those are the people that I go to when I have questions around those areas, because I'm not that big there. But when you create your own content and when you create your own value, then people will start recognizing, and they will associate you with the value that you are providing. And when they will have a problem, they will think of you. They will say, oh, she just wrote a post about that. Let me ask her or him about this. So, what exactly is an online content? And again, oftentimes it's the blogs and the websites are so big that we forget that the content is everything that we put online. Even on social media, the videos, the live videos on Facebook, the images, the quotes on Instagram, uh, the articles that you write. It can be podcasts, it can be anything that you create and put online. So it doesn't have to be a big, when we start talking, you have to put your own content out. And people are, oh gosh, I have to write so many words, I have to do this, I have to do that for being recognized. But in reality, it's even simple statuses, simple uh, Twitter posts. Those are all content that you can attract your audience and give them something and invite them to see more of what you're doing and how you're doing it. So uh, the most important thing that when we start creating the content, we have to have the end result in mind. we don't need we don't want to just post images and just for the sake of posting, because it doesn't serve any purpose. But on the other hand, when you create the content, you have to think about your audience. Who is your audience? It has to be relevant to your niche. So if you are selling makeup, if you are selling skincare, if you are selling weight loss products, it has to, your content should be somehow relevant to them. So if you are and there are many areas that you can cover. And if you're maybe selling weight loss products, then of course you can talk about the mindset and drinking water and the food and exercises and being positive. There are a lot of different angles that you can cover uh, with your message, but it still has to be somehow connected to your niche or to the audience that you are serving. So it has to have some kind of relevance to them. If you're talking about weight loss, and I don't know why I have this example now, but let's just continue with it. And you are talking about, and you are all about the weight loss, and then all of a sudden you start talking about grooming your dog. And it's it's not I mean, it's nothing wrong to post once in a while something like that, especially on your private page, because you are showing that you also maybe have a dog, or you post about travels and kids and things like that. But when you are creating content to be recognized as a expert, then of course you have to worry about that, the content that you are creating, that it is connected with your audience and with who you serve. uh, when you are writing, use their language. So when I'm talking to, let's say, network marketers, they have the specific words they use, like leads and prospect and sponsor and upline and downline and things like that, that most of the other professionals don't even understand. So it is specific to network marketing. But then on the other hand, I used to be law of attraction coach, and in law of attraction we use, manifestation, attraction, and vibration, and words like that. So it is important that you use the words that your audience is using, so they understand what you're saying, and that you are in their on the same level as them, so they get the message. Because sometimes we we sometimes we try to too hard to be an expert or something that we are not, and we start complicating things, and then all of the sudden we sound really like very experty. But on the other hand, our audience will not understand what we are talking about, because it will just go over their heads, because it will be something completely, out of their usual conversations. And the more specific you are with your message, the better. So the other day I was in one group, and the question was, who do you serve? And with all the others, I serve moms, dads, younger moms, and things like that. There was one lady, she said, I serve everyone with the skin. So it is, because everyone with the skin is actually everyone, and I understand that everyone can use their products. But if you're talking to everyone, and we all have different types of skins and different problems and different issues and different habits and different lifestyles and everything. So if she says, yeah, my cream or whatever she was selling will help you with everything, and I'm not, I'm looking for my specific problem, I'm looking for my specific situation, and if she doesn't talk about that, then I don't see the value for myself. So it is important that you are specific. And even if you have like with this example, even when you have uh, different markets, or even if you serve everyone. Try to be specific and try to create your like an ideal customer or customer avatar. So one message could be for moms, one message could be for dads, one message could be to young girls or to older women, or so you are using their specific problems, you're using their specific pains, and that's how you will attract their attention, because they will see their own problem, they will see their own world, they will see what they are struggling with, and that you understand what they are going through, and that you surely, if you know what they are going through, must have some kind of the uh, some kind of solution for them. uh, so how do you start creating your content? uh, this is the words from, I think they're from Ray Higdon, but it could be, from anyone anyone before him. But he uses this a lot, and I really like it because it is what we actually all do, and it is nothing, special, but it helps you um, with sharing more of what you know and what you learn. So the I stands for invest. And invest, I don't mean here just invest money, but invest time in your learning. So when you are reading a blog post, listening to webinar, today I will talk about creating content, and I'm sure that you can create something out of this for your audience. How you apply this, what I'm teaching now, to your own company, to your own services. So when you invest your time and money, or money, into your own education, and we all should spend at least 30 minutes per day reading something, or listening to webinars, or uh, going to some events, or doing something where we learn and everything. And even if you are reading the same book for the 10th time, you will get something else each time you read it. So it doesn't really matter that it is something new, and it doesn't really matter that you are always new. That I'm sure that you, if you follow my webinars and or my group and everything, I've talked a lot about the branding and things like that, and I repeat that here because it comes with the today's topic. So when you invest, you learn something, and then you learn. I don't mean read about it or just listen about it, but you learn by doing. So if I say today, you can create an image with an app, and quotes with an app, and then you go and create that image, or something that you think that will be good for your audience. You use this app for the first time. This is something that you learned. You tried it, you tested it, you see if it works for you, and if it works for you, this is something that you can recommend to others. And of course, while you will be learning and trying and testing and growing, uh, you will also find things that don't work for you, or you will tweak things. And you know, I will be saying this works for me, but you will find that you have to do it slightly differently for you. And this is something that you can share. And then you can also share a lot of your results, because when you learn and when you do things, you get results, and those results don't have to be um, having six-figure company or income, and being top producer and top recruiter and earning millions. But it can be simple. I created my first free ebook. I created my first blog post. I started my blog. Um I got my first leads. Things like that. Those are all the results, and those are all the results that someone who is behind you on this journey will appreciate. Because yeah, we have to learn from the best and look after them, but sometimes they are so far away from us that we don't get the message, and we don't really connect with them, because we are always, yeah, they have money, they have assistants, they are this and they are that. And sometimes we connect with people that are, just a step uh, in front of us. And because they are talking about the struggles that they are going through, and they're talking about how they are learning, what they are learning, and we can connect with them because we are on the same journey. So it is a great uh, point to show that you are you are still learning, that you are trying and making mistakes, and failing somewhere, and moving forward. And I think that most of the people will appreciate that more than bragging about, millions that you make, or even I see a lot. I'm kind of in a phase right now when I see when someone is faking, and I'm online for so long that when someone says that they're making, um 100,000 a month, and last year they were, or a few months ago, they were like quitting and struggling, and being a completely different person. Sometimes people are fake, and we all notice that. And it is not so much about bragging. And I don't have issues with someone who is rich and successful, but I know that it takes time, I know that it takes effort. So just jumping from zero to six figures, it just doesn't work. And it is better for you to be really raw and honest and transparent, and sharing that you're still learning, sharing that you are still growing your business, and even when you're struggling. And you will see that a lot of people will come to help you, or give you advice or support you. And it gives so much more than just bragging and being that one that is always good and rich, and uh, being living fabulous life. And of course, when you are learning and doing and sharing, you are also teaching others. And that is all that is about the content. You don't have to be, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And you have to start something. And yes, of course, the first few weeks, months, you will have not really much to share, but you can share about your journey. People love seeing that. People love seeing the stories, how someone is making progress and making baby steps. So those are the ideas for your content. You can describe, and you know that you will be attracting, most of your audience will be on the same journey as you are, or as you were. So we can talk a lot about the pains and the struggles, and what you accomplished, and what you've come through, and where you started, and how you struggled. And I know, when we have these Facebook Live challenges, a lot of people struggle with just starting. And I always share, I was not always a teacher, or someone that can run webinars. I struggled with my English, I struggled with the content, I struggled with everything. So it is kind of a, saying people, look, if I can do it, you can do it too. And people like to see those kind of motivation, and seeing that other ordinary people are doing it, and it's nothing really that special. Of course, you can always talk about the dreams and aspirations, as an I have dream life creation, because that's my kind of a bigger umbrella topic. uh, and dream life is actually, it's never achieved, but you can have dreams, you can have goals, and intentions, and everything around that. And this is another way to share your content, so you are actually selling or showing people the end result. Then, uh, what people ask you the most? What are some of the questions? I always create freebies according to what we are talking in my group, and what are some of the questions that people have about my, around the webinars, when I talk about something and they are engaging and asking for more. So this is the content that I share or create a bit more of it, and then give out the freebie or blog post or something around that. Then of course, common objections. You can create your content around those objections, but that you answer them in advance. So oftentimes, I don't have time, I don't have money. Those are the general, I think, the most used objections, like an excuses. So you can talk about not having time, making priorities for, making yourself a priority, or making priorities with the money, and where you spend your money, and how to track your money and things like that. So you kind of negate that objections in advance. And when people see that, they see solutions for themselves, because sometimes we are so uh, when someone tell us something, then it's kind of like a common sense, and we are like, oh, why didn't I think about it? But oftentimes we don't. We get so stuck into our own thinking, and in our own problems, and in our own situations, that we just don't see it. And it could be a simple step that we can take, and nothing big, and nothing you know really way out of our comfort zone, but sometimes we just need someone to tell us that. So that's a great idea, that for your content. And then of course, you can share other people's content. Why not? And I'm not talking here just about, those big gurus and the big experts in your niche, but maybe from your fellow friend, or someone you just met, and you see that maybe she just posted a blog post or something, and you see a value in that. You can share, and you create a connection with that person. You give them recognition, and they will start looking for you, and how to kind of repay you, but not directly repay you, but they will see you as someone that did something good for them, and they will try to do something good for you. So when you will write something, it's a great probability that they will also share your stuff. And when you are I usually brainstorm 50 way, like I have number 50, and I don't know where I get that number, but but I usually just sit down and create a list of 50 ideas that I can write about. And sometimes they are stupid, sometimes they are good, sometimes they are just duplicates of things. But out of those 50, I'm sure I get 20 to 30 good ideas that I can write about. And it's not just the big topics. Every big topic has a lot of smaller topics and questions inside. So those are all things that you can create. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be always 2,000 words blog post. It can be like uh, a checklist with 5 bullet points, or just a reminder, or something that you a tip that you share, and it can be really simple and without overcomplicating it. So when you are writing, you have to write, and you have to attract people's attention. You have to grab their attention in the first. And as I said before, I just scroll through my feed on Facebook, and it's actually for every online content that you're creating on Instagram or blog post or anything. In the first sentence, you have to tell, you have to maybe ask questions, or tell what you're going to talk about, or uh, start with a problem or something that will get people read more, because we are so bombarded with all this content that we just read the title or maybe subtitle or maybe first few sentences if we're lucky, but most of the time we just skim through the content. So you have to grab people's attention. And I said before, write as you would be talking. Don't try to be very academic, or don't use the words that you don't even understand, or don't try to be smart or something. You just have to write. Of course, be mindful of the sentences, be mindful of the grammar, be mindful also on social media. There's uh, a lot of smileys and a lot, but oftentimes people don't write the words, or and for me, I'm not the native speaker. Sometimes it's really hard to read something because it's someone thought that it is fancy to write in some kind of broken English. I don't know what that is, but still, you don't have to be very, like you would be writing a PhD, but you can use the words, the tone, the humor, or whatever you're using usually in the conversation. Uh, Bullet points are a great way to emphasize your point or what you are saying. So one of the best titles that you can have for your content, the first one is definitely how to, and then something. And the second most attention grabbing, let's say, is three ways, three tips, three problems, three solutions, three something, or five or seven or whatever. But three is a good number for just the shorter content. So you say three mistakes that you're making, three tips how you can make your something better. uh, so those are the great way, and you can write something about the pains and the problems, and then you share your solutions with the bullet points. The numbers are a great way to attract someone's attention. I don't know why, but we are somehow attracted to the 3, 5, 7, 9. So whenever you're using numbers, it's a great way to get attention, but also be, giving specific numbers about your maybe success, or about the proof of your maybe expertise or what you're doing. Like I mm, for example, I made 700 $2,031 in 24 hours or something like that. I'm just making this up, but if you use numbers, people think that when you are really specific, and please don't lie about it, but try to use the numbers in your copy, because when people see the number, um, we are kind of we feel that if there is a number that's not approximate or around, but it is a specific number, we feel that it must be true. And again, I'm not saying that you lie, but if you can, you can include the numbers in your proof and uh, in your uh, in your copy that it is working. And of course, ask questions. Ask questions about the start with the problems. Ask questions about the pains and the problems. Do you experience? Are you dealing with this? Do you suffer from? And also ask questions about the benefits. Would you like to have clear skin? Would you like to spend more time with your kids? things like that. Those are the things, and I've already talked about that in regards to affirmations and affirmations. So when we hear the question, we are start immediately looking for answers, and we are more likely to read what you wrote or what's there because we expect the solution to that questions. Uh, and of course, at the end, always include call to action. This is one of my mistakes that I have a post-it note here, with a call to action when I do live videos because I always forget at the end, or I just tell few of the call to actions and then people are confused what to do, but have one clear call to action at the end. And again, it doesn't have to be like download my freebie or sign up for my course or something big, but it can be, if you agree with me, like this post, or if you like it, share with your friends. Comment below if you are experience this, or if you give some tips, you can say what's your best tip, or what are you using to do this, or things like that. So you engage people and you ask for their opinion, and you uh, kind of give them, because again, we are sometimes, I don't want to use the word stupid, but we are sometimes so focused on our own actions that we need to be told what to do. And if even something simple like and comment, you know sometimes we just don't think about it, or we just read, and even if we like it, we forget to really like it and comment it or share it. So it is, uh, use call to action at the end, and again, it can be simple as just like this, share, comment below. Um, and most of the time people like really simple call to actions, so not asking them to write the whole essay about their lives, but just start, or maybe which tip did you like the best, or which one of those tips are you already using, or which one of the tip will you be using today. So they're just giving 1 2 3 ABC or something really simple, but we need to be told, to do something, to react, to give us, to give the feedback. So it is really important. And of course, when you're writing to sell something, it is way more important to include the call to action, sign up, go to this web page and sign up, download, or things like that. But try to always include whatever you're doing. Of course, if you're just sharing quote or something, don't don't say like and comment below, because quotes are, or images are, usually the things that we automatically like, and you don't have to post on everything. But when you are marketing, and when you're focused on more on your business, then of course include the call to action. And then we come to specifically on social media, because what I was talking before is, it can be for blog posts, it can be for videos, it can be for any content that you are creating. But on social media, people don't come to social media to buy things. They come to socialize. So they are, and if you look at the engagement, you will see that those social posts, when you post your cat, your dog, your kids, your holiday pics or something like that, they get way more likes and engagement to when you're writing the mm, really valuable post or something when you're selling. But you can sell without really being salesy and needy and pitching. So what to write on social media? You have to inspire people. And inspire, it can be a story, it can again be about your struggles, it can be how you're living It can be your lifestyle, your business, something that they can look up after, and they can see that there is a better way for them as well. Then as I said, people come to be entertained and to socialize, and we all like, fun and laughter. So with the entertainment, all those quizzes and silly cat videos, of course it can be silly dog videos too, or something to maybe a quote or something that people laugh at, or it made them smile. So just give them something that they will feel good about themselves, and feel good about their life. And then of course you have to educate them, and this is where you will give value, you will show your expertise, and you will get noticed, and building your brand and audience and everything. And try to keep your posts to, I usually say 80-20, but 10% of the promotions is really enough, and all of the other stuff could be or should be valuable. Some of it should be fun and easy, and just for the entertainment. And with the value, if you write a post where you share, like we talked before, 3 tips, 3 ways, 5 topics, something like that, of course you can always include call to action as a promotion, but it is not directly promotion. So you're kind of hiding your promotions into that value, and you're teasing people, and you're still. And if you give value and then ask people to get your maybe freebie, or sign up, or join you somewhere, join your group maybe, or something, or like your page, people will more likely to uh, get that as a part of the value that you are giving. It is not perceived as a promotional, as a those posts that are like, buy my stuff, join my team, free, buy one get one free, and things like that. And it is okay to share that as well, but just be mindful of the ratio, so it is not only that. And with the promotional, it is again, your companies, if you're network marketing, your companies usually provide those images. And then again, if you are sharing the same images as everyone else, especially around those promotions and special offers, and all of the sudden everyone is posting the same post, you will just get lost, your message will get lost in the many. So it's just not worth it. So what are the perfect status updates? And I already talked a lot about it, but just to remind you, so that you have plenty of options, and it's not that daunting as it may sound. So one of the great engagement posts is complete the blank. So if you would have $10,000, I would. If you do this, if you wake up now on the other side of the world, what would you do? But just complete the blank. If I, then, and then leave it, or things like, you get the idea. The videos are always perfect, and I'm a big fan of Facebook live videos. I try to be more more consistent with them, but still, uh, it still gets more views and more eyes on your message. And because you are there in a person, it gives uh, more value to what you say and how you say it. And then you can post quick questions, like, are you a dog or a cat person? Do you prefer coffee or tea? What do you drink with dinner, or what's your favorite vacation spot? Where would you go? What's your dream vacations? What's your, things like that that require simple yes, no, dog, cat, one word actions, answers. Uh, oh gosh. Then, of course, images are always in, but again, it has to be something that attracts our eyes and makes us stop. And I don't know about you, but when I see lately mm, when on the Android you have those colorful statuses where you post the status in with the color, it looks like an image, but it's just a square, purple, green, blue with the words. I just skip past through that. I just stopped looking at them. I don't even read the words. I'm just, because they're all the same, and every other every other one is the same. So for me, I'm not even reading reading those posts anymore, because when I see the text, it's the text that I read easily and quickly, and I can skim through it, and I get the message. With the image, if it's the image as an image with the with something meaningful, it can stop my eyes. I watch it, I look it, read it. But with those statuses, I just don't anymore. So you know I'm not sure how you see them, but if your sort of image is the square and every other is the same, then just doesn't attract anyone's attention anymore. You can always share resources, and I will give you some resources later on for the tools that I use for the images. And those are always great way to share with your audience what you use for the what I use for Facebook live videos, how you use selfie stick for that. Then what tools I use, what software, what applications, what you know things like that. People like to see what you are using because they feel that they can get value out of it. And then, of course, you can always tease them and share like curiosity in a way that you tell them something, but you don't tell them everything. So they're thinking what she's up to now and what is she preparing, and maybe I'm working on this. And if you want to be notified, if you want to be you've seen those statuses before in my group. um, just to give people something that they think that you are they don't want to miss out on your announcement or whatever you're having, because if they trust you and if they see you as an authority, they think that you must have something really good, and they can't wait to see what you have. And as we are approaching 1 hour, these are the tools that I use for creating images, and I use Adobe Spark app for 90% of my everything that I do: the images, the promotion posts, the cover photos, everything. And it is available for I use it on iPad. It's available for phone as well, and it is available online on for the use on the computer. But I just don't like it that much as on my uh, on my iPad. Then it's Typorama. It's very interesting because it has different fonts that you can play with, but they are more limited with the options and the features. So I don't use that much. Then, of course, it's the word swag. It's very easy to use, but again, I don't get that many options, and I'm kind of a tech freak, so I need options. Online, Canva, and PicMonkey. Those are two of the most, I think, that most used and favorite online. If you ask anyone, they're using this. I don't like them personally because, as I said, I always want to make it something different, and I always kind of choose the option that's not available, that's not working, or when I choose it, everything just falls apart. So I don't like it. But I use I use, and I'm sure that you will laugh at it because my daughter does. I use a lot of PowerPoint, and you can use Word or on Mac, Pages and Slides, but I use PowerPoint uh, for most of my ebooks, and I've used it before for my quotes and for the images, but I use Adobe now. But I still use the PowerPoint for the ebooks because it's easy. Insert picture, insert text box, and I have all the fonts that I can download, and I can find, and I can play with the shapes, and I can play with the symbols and with everything. So I use that a lot. Yeah, I agree, Julian, that they might be great, but what I've tried, every time I've tried to do something out of their box and out of their template, uh, it was ruining, and it was freezing, and it was just not the great experience for me. And I know that a lot of people are using them, and a lot of people love them. It's just my personal preference that I don't. And before we end this, let me share with you how you can create easily, because I told you now, probably you're thinking, yeah, where do I get the time to do this, and all the images and posts and share here and there, and but but one way is split into subtopics. So if you probably noticed how I create my content in the group. I have this webinar, and then I have these slides. I don't make them until Monday, but I have my topics, and I know what I will be talking about because I create event, and I've got an idea. So everything can be, all those slides that I had today. They are like 10 of the slides that are really value. So every slide can be a separate topic that I can talk about. uh, Create in bulk. So for me, it really works very well if I sit down and I get an iPad in my hand, and I just create all the welcome posts and all the prosperity game that we are playing, because I just change one thing or two, and find another image, and it is done. And I just create few images at once, and when I create the topics for the webinar or for the weekly theme that we are having in the group, uh, I just write everything in advance. So I already have, usually on Sunday or Monday morning, I create everything and I schedule it, and automate as much as possible. So I don't have to worry every day and sit every day and what will I write about. And I already have a plan, what I'm talking. So then have templates ready, as you know, you can use, and if you're building your brand, you should use the similar colors, the similar feel of the images. You can also create the template for your quotes, so everything is, let's say, the same but not the same. but when people see it, they will immediately think of you, because you will, and you will use them throughout everything that you do. And as I said, the prosperity game that we are playing, I'm using just the same image, everything. I'm just changing the number. So it is really, creating 6, 7, 8 images for the next week is maybe 5 minutes of the work. Uh, then, of course, you can repurpose, because you don't have to invent everything from the scratch. And I must confess that I sometimes post the same text and this, with maybe even different image, or with the same image in my group, because we have so many new people, we have so many new members, and even if you've seen it, you probably don't remember what I wrote 3 months or 6 months ago. And even if you do remember, or even if you find that post, you are in a different situation now. You are so much further, so you will see that post with different eyes. You will see a different value, and you will see that you can you get different points out of it. So uh, you don't have to you don't have to create everything from scratch every day. You can have few, especially if you are focused on one niche. You can have, like I do for my Facebook Live videos, or we have every year we have a vision board party. So yeah, I change a bit, or maybe even I don't, but usually I changed a bit. But I have the majority of the post I already have written and prepared, and I have a special folder for the content that I create, and a special folder for all the images that I create. So I use the workflowy that I shared before. I use a lot of that, because I'm talking about the same topics. I'm not changing, and even though we are talking about different things, but they are all connected, and they are all part of the bigger picture. So I'm always repurposing things. And then, of course, you can syndicate, which means that you can use the same content on different platforms. You can share it. uh, I do with this webinar. I post it on my website, I post it on my YouTube channel. I'm planning of creating a membership site. So those are all the ways that I can reach with the same uh, time and effort and energy that I put into creating this webinar. I can reach different audience on different channels. I could also create a podcast out of it. I can have it transcripted, and create an ebook out of it. Uh, I can sell it for example, for the webinar with the transcript, and I add maybe a workbook with it, and it can be a course. So you can also always put the same content on different channels, and you don't have. And we talked about that before. I use IFTTT. So it is everything that I post on Instagram goes to my fan page, and it goes to my Pinterest, and goes to my Twitter. So I create only one picture with one text, and I have the call to action and the hashtags I have as shortcuts on keyboard on my iPad. So I don't even copy paste. I just for the Instagram, I have shortcut IG1, IG2, IG3, and it just writes down the whole. So you have to find ways that work for you, but you have to find ways that will make your creation easier, because creation is important. Uh, creation is important, but you have to sell at the end. You have to talk to people. You have to connect and communicate with your audience, and you have to spend majority of your time and energy on that task that are making you money, because those are, the foundation to make your money, but they are usually not uh, earning your money directly. So you have to spend majority of your time on your money making activities, and you have to make this automated and scheduled and easy as possible. uh, I'm still If you have any questions, hey Junalyn, I love your comments, and thank you for participating and engaging. And I still offer free strategy sessions if you want. It is 30 minutes of we can talk about building your group or creating your message and content, and sharing your expertise and building your brand online. So if you have any more questions, I will be still here for a while. Mm, but if not, you can post them in the group, and I will be more than happy to answer it for you. Thank you for watching. I hope you got value, and please let me know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway, and um, if you liked what we were talking about today. Okay, bye for now, and see you next week on next webinar. Bye.